So I saw a video of a black woman saying, "Can we normalize black men protecting black women?" No, you want to know why? Because it was black women who turned their back on the black man first.
I'm definitely noticing more and more of a trend of Black women feeling okay and even emboldened to go online and criticize other Black women, or particularly criticize trends and toxic elements that they see in Black female culture. I think this is largely being fueled by the economy, honestly. You have Black women who have lost a substantial amount of jobs since the beginning of this year. I mean, this is just getting started. We're having government programs being pulled left to right, and ultimately some of the support that the government was able to provide that Black women oftentimes relied upon is just no longer there, or it's no longer going to be there. And so I definitely think that is fueling this dialogue and fueling this trend I'm seeing of more women who are going online and, championing for Black men everywhere, from doing these I Love Black Men videos and these I Love Black Men compilations to other women who are actually now starting to criticize Black women and ultimately criticize cultures and behaviors that have ultimately put many Black men, or put many Black women, in a negative predicament today. So I ran across this video. I haven't had a chance to watch all of it. I only saw like the first 5 seconds, but I noticed her energy and I wanted to respond to it because, and this is just one of many examples of more and more Black women who are standing up, starting to speak out against the foolishness and want to call out some of the hypocrisy or some of the issues that they are seeing or have noticed among Black women in general. So let's see what she has to say. It's called "Black Women Are the Blame for Black Men Not Protecting Them." And I'm assuming this is in response to the popular complaint that we hear from Black women, which is that Black men don't protect them. So let's see what she has to say.
So I saw a video of a black woman saying, "Can we normalize black men protecting black women?" No, you want to know why? Because it was black women who turned their back on the black man first. You gave up on him. You canceled him out. You kicked him out. You, black woman.
Y'all think she been listening to the Black Manosphere? Accountable Commentary, BGS, Kevin Samuels, Obsidian. I mean, there's a whole list of people in the Manosphere, outside of the Black Manosphere. Don't quote me, because I know some of you guys are really particular about me, misrepresenting. But I'm just saying, y'all think she's been listening to Black men online. This is something I heard Black men saying when I started YouTubing almost 5 years ago. This is something I heard Black men saying. I didn't hear Black women saying this. They were actually very, very antagonistic for anyone who would make this, anyone who would even make that suggestion. So it's just interesting to hear Black women now saying this openly and with passion and conviction. Very interesting. Let's continue.
Turn your back on the black man first, and how you want to have the audacity to talk about them the way that you do after all the pain and suffering that you would put them through.
Oh, listen, I'm not laughing because this is funny. I'm not saying this is funny. It's not funny. What is intriguing to me is the energy, the passion, the words that are being said, and the context. Because it's hard for me to believe that this would have been said 5 years ago. It's hard for me to believe that. Now, Brandon, I don't know her. I don't know what she was doing 5 years ago. She could have been believing this way, and this is just my first time running across it. That's fine. It's completely possible. I'm just saying I'm seeing a little bit more of a trend of Black women who are aggressively saying how much they either love Black men, essentially saying the things that Black men online and the Manosphere, outside of the Manosphere, have been complaining about for some time now. And I just find that very, very, very intriguing. Some of y'all gonna call that the reach back. Some of y'all just gonna say this is Keisha's reaching back. That's what some of you guys are going to say. Nevertheless, it is an interesting phenomenon. Let's continue.
There has always been a black family unit, always. Since we was picking cotton, all the way up until 1960. It was you, black woman, who caused all the damage that you did. And all that hurt and that pain and the hard work that these black men did for working unskilled jobs.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm really trying not to laugh. This isn't funny. I guess it is a little hilarious to me because it's just because of the context around it. It almost seems performative. But I'm not saying that that's the case. I don't know her. So I don't want to come to that conclusion. But just the context around it, all these women lost their jobs, all these women lost their governmental support. And then now we won't recognize what's been going on. This is why a lot of Black men are stepping back. And this is why a lot of Black men actually have a hard time trusting Black women. Not all, but some are just like, so where were y'all a few years ago, or however many since really internet was a thing and men took to online to start to share some of their challenges. But even before then, they're like, well, where are y'all when we were trying to express this to you, whether it be in our families, whether it be just in our own spaces, whether it be in our relationships, and we got the cold shoulder. Or you said that, oh, well, you're just making complaints, or you judged us for not being hardworking, or judged us or saying that we were just making excuses and saying that we were lazy, or saying that there's not good enough Black men and they're not on our level. Like, where were you guys basically the last few decades when the media and prominent Black women in the media spent a good portion of their time lambasting Black men and talking about how much they failed and how much they have failed to arise to the level Black women have. And so this is why I think Black men have a hard time sometimes with these kinds of messaging. I'm not saying that she is wrong to share her opinion and wrong to give criticisms of Black women. I think she's specifically dealing with feminism, and around the civil rights movement, what that meant, and just all of the challenges that happened as a result of that, the no man in the house clause. So I think I understand what she's alluding to. The bigger point is you have men who are just like, y'all spent the last how many decades saying nothing when we were being consistently insulted, and these different television shows, these different programs that you supported, that you watched, that you patronized, that you promoted, that you read the magazines, you purchased the sitcoms, you went to the movie, you supported it. And then now, because the economy is going around, all of a sudden you just are saying what we've been saying, and we're supposed to take that seriously. So I do hear and see men who are looking at some of these kinds of conversations that Black women are starting to initiate, and they're looking at it sideways, like we don't think this is serious. So it's a really interesting thing. I can't say I really know either way. My thing is you have to start somewhere, and I will say particularly for the young girlies, like for the young Gen Zers and younger, I feel like I'm especially going to have a lot more grace or a lot more scrutiny for them because they didn't create the environment. You know what I mean? They're just coming into it. So them coming up and being critical and asking these questions to me seems a lot more genuine, because it's like they literally are just a product of the environment that their parents created. Like, you can't really hold someone accountable who's like 17, 18, 20, like, well, where were you back when Oprah was like, they were in a pacifier. They weren't around to do anything. So for them who are starting to criticize, or who were the I love black men train or whatever, if they're doing that stuff, I'm like, they're young, they're just trying to figure themselves out, whatever. Now for the older millennials or Gen Xers or even boomers, I could understand how there might be more scrutiny, just like, well, you didn't have enough time to be in this environment and to engage in some things, and so why are you now changing the tune? So it's just something that I'm noticing. Okay, she has a little bit more. I'm gonna let her play and then we can wrap this up.
The law being passed for them to be able to go to school and learn a trade, to work skilled jobs, to make more money, to provide for their family and send their kids to college for degrees. When their job was taken from them, it was you who turned your back on him for a check. And now you want a man to come to your rescue. You didn't even try to save him. There was some Black women that stood by their man. And they chose to pack up from these luxury apartments that were sold to them as artificial smoky mirror mirage bullshit. And they moved out and they continued to keep their families together. But it was a whole bunch of you that turned your back on them. So I don't blame them for feeling the way that they feel today about you. Know your history. Learn it. See how it was systematically put together to destroy and dismantle the Black family unit that had been strong for so long. And look where we are today. That pain, that hurt, that suffering, those emotions that man felt when you turned your back on him was carried from generation to generation to generation to generation to today. Well, they can give two fucks about you because you gave zero about them. That is it.
Okay, so she had something to say. I mean, whether you think she's telling the truth, whether you think she's genuine, you think that she's coming from a real place, or you think she's just reaching bad, no matter what your position is. Nevertheless, I do believe that there's certain things that Black women are only going to hear from other Black women. They are not going to receive it from Black men. It is what it is. She's obviously alluding to a lot of things that we don't have time to break down in this particular video, but I just think, going back to my bigger point, it's interesting to see this trend of more Black women who are openly criticizing other Black women for decisions that they made or their ancestors made that had ultimately put Black women in the negative position they are today. So that is what I have. What do you guys think? Do you agree or do you disagree? Let me know what you think down in the comment section. Thank you so much for listening if you've gotten this far, and we'll talk later. Bye.